Let's go ahead and have a seat, everybody.
We do have our next witness, if
Okay.
the court is ready.
I am ready.
The state calls Brian Morrison.
All right. Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Yeah, just come on up to my far left if you would, and you can go ahead and have a seat when you get up here, sir. And Mr. Morrison, you can adjust that microphone however you'd like.
Hello?
Yep, that works. So first thing I'm going to do, sir, is swear you in. If you please raise your right hand. Mr. Morrison, sir, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll be giving in these proceedings will be the truth?
True, I do.
All right, and then just for the record, sir, can you give us your first name and your last name and spell them for us?
Brian Morrison, Brian Morrison.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Codiaga, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Judge. Sir, you've stated your name. You're Mr. Morrison, correct?
Correct.
Where do you currently live? Where do you currently reside at?
I live in Trare, same place I've been most of my life.
Okay. So you've lived in Trare most of your life?
Yes.
Okay. And that's in Tama County?
Correct.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a retired farmer and I drive semi now, hauling pork products.
How long have you been a farmer and when did you start driving semis?
My whole life I farmed. I started farming on my own in 1990 until 2019. Then I started driving semi.
Do you know a person, someone who used to be called Ryan Cooper?
Yes.
How do you know Ryan?
His dad and my dad were good friends in high school. Then they grew up together. And then he was younger than I was, so I really didn't meet him until, we didn't start running around until about 2008, 2009. We started farming together and we used equipment together.
When you started farming together, did you become close friends, someone you could call a friend? And
Oh,
see
yes.
often?
Yes.
How would you describe your relationship?
He is my best friend.
Would you see him often?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, you said he was a farmer. What did he farm?
He farmed?
Yeah, what?
He farmed corn, soybeans, cattle.
And did he also use trucks and ride semi-trucks?
Yes.
So sometimes he would be on his semi-truck.
Yep, it was part of the cattle business, hauled cattle, feed, and feed.
So when he would use a semi-truck, he will be hauling cattle feed or something related to the farm.
Correct.
Did you do social things together with Ryan Cooper other than farming?
Yes. A lot of family events, kids' birthdays. We camped together, motorcycled together, snowmobile together.
Do you know Karina Cooper?
Yes.
Is that person you've called Karina Cooper in this courtroom today?
Yes.
Will you identify her for the jury?
She's to my right. Long brunette hair.
Fair enough to say it's very difficult for you to testify here today.
Yes.
Is that because of the nature of relationship that you had with Ryan and Karina Cooper?
Correct.
The lady who just testified before you, Ms. McBride, do you know her?
Yes.
Can you tell us the relationship that you had with Ms. McBride?
We dated for 6 years.
So Teresa McBride, you, Karina, and Ryan were people who were close together in a circle.
Correct.
Can you briefly tell us what your relationship with Karina Cooper was like?
We had a very good relationship. I mean, she's like my sister.
Considered a friend,
Right.
just like you love Brian as someone who was your best friend, you automatically then loved someone that he was in a
Yes.
relationship with.
Yes.
When you were together, as you've indicated, there were social activities you did together. Did that include drinking and partying together?
Yeah.
Were there changes or in that relationship in some of these occasions in terms of what you'll observe between Ryan and Karina?
I guess drinking can change anybody's attitude, but yes, if that's where we're going, yes.
Some of those times, will she be mean to Ryan Cooper? Will Karina be mean to Ryan Cooper?
She would get a bit upset and be upset with him at times, yes.
When she was upset at him, were there occasions she would make threats at him?
Yes.
Do you recall some threats that you were present that she made when you were there?
There was times in general relationships, I hate you, I wish you were dead. Obviously the big one you're thinking of is we were in his shop one night and she said I could shoot you in the face, which was surprising.
So in terms of what she said, it wasn't the same as other threats of just I hate you. There's something more venomous in what she said.
I would take as the previous ones as relationship fights, but yeah, then the latter was more surprising.
Do you recall what was financial issues a tension in their relationship?
Were there financial issues in their relationship?
Yeah, was finances causing a tension between them? Did you understand my question?
There were issues, but I don't know if it caused them issues. I mean, there was financial problems at times, but I don't remember them. I don't know if it was just something he had to do to fix the current situation and move on.
Did you know Karina to own any firearms?
To own any firearms?
Yeah.
Yes.
At some point in the time leading to his killing, did Ryan express some concerns and hand you some documents and express some concerns that if he was not alive?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Overruled. You can answer. Actually, you already
Yes.
did, I believe.
Yeah. Do you remember what Ryan expressed to you?
We were riding in a pickup, and he says, if something happens, then these documents are here. But after the fact, it took me a long time to remember that.
So he gave you some documents?
He did not give them to me. He told me where they were at.
He indicated to you some documents that he wanted you to
Correct.
be
Aware of.
aware of if he was no longer there.
Right.
You may.
Now, you talked about being aware that Karina Cooper had knowledge of firearms, correct?
Correct.
There were some concealed carry classes that were either being done at the farm that they lived in, correct?
Like the concealed carry classes?
Yeah.
Yes, they were. We had done those at his shop there at their residence.
Did you see Karina Cooper fire a firearm in those classes?
Yes, in order to get your Florida permit, you had to fire a gun safely. And I saw her do that.
Did you become aware of tension in their relationship that involved Houston Denker?
Yes.
At some point after Ryan became aware of an affair, did you notice any changes in Karina's behavior?
I guess we weren't doing as much together at the time, which that was marital issues they needed to work out. So we just didn't discuss it as much. If he wanted to talk about it, we talked about it. If he didn't, I didn't push it.
So at some time you started withdrawing, or the relationship started not being as close
Correct.
as it was before?
Correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions at this time.
Ms. Watt, any questions?
Thank you. So you mentioned him talking about some documents, and then I thought I heard you say, I didn't remember that for some time. Did you mean that you just remembered that he told you these things? What were you trying to say?
After he was killed, yeah, it was just, my mind was a mess, and I couldn't remember certain things that pertained.
Okay.
It just wasn't in my front memory
Okay.
like it was supposed to be.
Okay. I took it to mean that you just remembered this within the last 6 months. Did I misunderstand you then?
I remembered it a couple months after he had been killed.
All right. When did he have that conversation with you? Late in the fall, the year before. So 2020, you think?
I believe so, yes.
The comment about, I'm going to shoot you, was Teresa there for that?
Yes.
Okay. So if she thinks it was around 2018, does that sound right to you?
No.
Okay. When do you think it happened?
The fall of 20.
Okay. Did you ever witness Karina be violent towards Ryan?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember talking to me guess, do you mean you saw her be physically violent towards him?
Can't say it was physical. She would get verbally
Okay.
mad at him
Okay,
to where it was, yeah.
all right. And I understand that we're focusing a lot on the bad times in this courtroom, but I imagine that you witnessed good times between Karina and Ryan as well,
Yes,
and you guys all had fun together.
we did.
All right. And I understand you loved them both at one time, right?
Yes,
And I understand that sometimes when Karina was drinking, a different side of her would come out.
at times, yes.
And did you have a name for her?
We called her Karen.
Karen? I do not have any other questions. Thank you.
Any redirect?
The name Karen was not a term of endearment, was it?
Say that again, please.
The name Karen was not a term of endearment, was it?
I'm not understanding the last part. The name Karen, what?
It wasn't a term that you were calling her because it was a love term or a nice name to call her, was it?
It was just a different personality, if you will.
So when you called her Karen, it's because she was being mean and not being nice.
Ornery. Defensive, yes.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Anything further?
I mean, just to be fair, though, you said she was our Karen, right? Of the group?
Of the group, yes.
Loved.
Yes.
Right. No other questions?
All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down. State prepared to call sex witness.
The state calls Brad Rund.
Good afternoon, sir. Just come on all the way up here. There's a seat to my far left for you. Yep, just right up. Go ahead and have a seat, sir. I'll swear you in once you're seated. You can adjust that microphone however you'd like. All right. Good afternoon, sir. I'm going to go ahead and swear you in. If you please raise your right hand. Sir, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you'll be giving in these proceedings will be the truth?
Yes.
Okay. And then for the record, sir, can you please give us your first name and your last name and spell them?
Brad Rund, B-R-A-D-R-U-N-D.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rund. Mr. Kodiaga, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Mr. Rund, can you tell the jury what you do for a living?
For what?
What is your occupation?
Loan officer at Chelsea Savings Bank.
Can you tell the jury what a loan officer does and just break it down for them, what you do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I pull financials, get stuff ready for customers to see if they qualify for a loan. And then just day-to-day, do overdrafts, take phone calls, visit with customers, do ATM work, just whatever's needed at the bank.
Okay. Where is this bank located at?
In Traer, Iowa.
Tama County?
Yes.
And how long have you worked in the banking industry?
About 14 and a half years.
Were you employed as a loan officer back between the period of 2020 and 2021?
Yes.
Same bank?
Same bank.
Now, you've talked about some of your responsibilities, which include oversight over account management. Is that correct? Account management for
Yeah, if they're overdrawn,
and overdraft monitoring, correct?
yes.
Can you tell the jury what overdraft is?
If you overextend yourself out of your account and your balance is negative,
Okay. So if you don't have sufficient funds in your account and
Yep.
it's negative, what do you do as part of the overdraft monitoring? What do you do when your clients have that? Can you just walk us through what you occasionally
Well,
would do?
I just do a courtesy call or I text my customers and let them know that, hey, they're overdrawn, and then I see if they can bring a deposit in or not, just so we don't have to return the items that are on their account, taking them negative.
As part of your professional relationship, did you have a customer or a client by the name of Karina Cooper?
Yes,
Do you see that person in this courtroom today?
yes,
Can you identify that person by an item of their clothing?
yeah. She's right over there.
Dressed in what looks like a sweater or a vest?
Yep, gray or whatever with a white blouse.
Your Honor, will ask the record reflect identification.
The record so reflects.
Now, from our prior testimony, we understand that Traer is a small community. Did you know her from just the bank, or you also would socially interact with the defendant?
From the bank and both. My son-in-law and my daughter were friends with hers, and that's how I got to know them personally. But as far as like hanging out, no. Through them, I did.
Did you know the nature of the accounts that the defendant kept with your bank?
Say that again?
Did you know the types of account that the defendant kept with your bank?
Yeah, checking, savings.
As part of your banking business, did you also know someone by the name of Ryan Cooper?
Yes,
And again, was that based on the professional relationship that he had a bank account at your bank?
the same. Yeah.
Permission to approach?
You may.
State Exhibit 205, 206, 204B, and 309. You can take a minute to look through those documents to see if you remember what those would be.
Okay.
So did you have a chance to look through those documents that I gave you?
Yes.
Do you recognize what they will be?
Yep.
Are they documents that will be from your bank?
Yes. Well, one's my phone, text message.
Okay. So one of them is your phone text message. Can you tell us what that document, what exhibit that will be?
You want me to read something off here?
No, I'll come to that, but what is
Oh.
it marked as?
206.
At this time, the agreement with the parties, if there's no objection, the state moves to amend 206, 205, 206, 204B, and 30.
Ms. Watt, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then at this time, Exhibits 205, 206, 204B, and 309 are admitted. Are you wanting to publish these?
I will briefly, but not yet.
Okay, just let me know.
You did talk about overdraft monitoring for clients. Did Karina Cooper have recurring overdraft issues with her accounts?
Yes.
Would you describe it as something that was happening repeatedly, especially in the months leading to Ryan Cooper's killing?
I can't recall for sure how many there was or whatever, but it was often.
And as part of that overdraft on her account, did you occasionally have to get in touch with Karina Cooper to talk to her about that?
Yes.
How would you do that?
I would call sometimes, or I'd text. Texting just was easier because sometimes they just didn't answer the phone. Sometimes voice messages weren't set up, so it just depended on the customer. I did it to multiple people.
So you'd either have a phone call or you will text her to alert her of the overdraft.
Correct.
Looking at this point, Your Honor, will ask to publish 204B.
All right.
So you have a monitor in front of you. Does it show what we're seeing on the big screen?
Yeah.
If it's easier to see that, or if you can see from there, just let me know.
No, that one's fine.
I also have a paper copy, if you would
Okay.
prefer that. Can you tell the jury what we are seeing on what's being admitted as 204B? What do we see on the top? What is this statement?
It's Karina Cooper's shop account. It's her checking account, regular checking account.
Okay. So she had two accounts. One was what you describe as a shop account.
Yeah.
You are aware that she had a shop that she ran, correct? She had a business that she ran.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you tell us briefly what this is? It says on the top right-hand side, it says statement ending January 7th, 2021, correct?
Correct.
What is this sheet? What is this sheet summarizing?
It's just her basic checking account statement mailed out from the bank, ending then January 7th.
Okay.
And it was a month prior, so it'd be her December statement.
Okay. And is this a document that as a bank you regularly produce in the ordinary course of business?
Yes.
And
Monthly.
you give these or send these to customers to know what their finances are and alerts them to their spending and what their financial health looks like, correct?
Correct.
So we have where it says December 8th, 2020. If you see where my cursor is, it says beginning balance 423.72.
Correct.
And it has an ending balance. Can you just explain what those two mean?
Yep, there was 26 credits. That was deposits of 6532, and 82 debits, 4,908.33 cents. Left her with the ending balance of 1780.71.
Okay.
And then the $12.56 was the service charge, just the charge for that account.
Okay. When we scroll down to this account, we have this other page. And fair enough to say there are some pages in the middle that would have the transactions during that month that are not here, correct?
Correct.
What do we see on this page? Can you?
Yeah, there's right below the daily balances, it's overdraft fees. There was none for that month, but year to date was 225.
So the year to date, you have an overdraft fee of 225.
Yep.
And I don't know if you'd explain that. What is an overdraft fee?
For each transaction that overdrill the account, there's a $25 fee for a business account.
So what that means is if the account is negative, the bank still gets to pay for that charge that went through, correct?
Yeah,
And as a result of that, the bank will charge the customer a fee of $25.
correct.
So to reach an amount of 225, the fees that have been charged at that point.
Right, 9.
I'm going to show you, and this was the month of January. When we go to the month of February, same thing that we've talked about in terms of regular checking, the ending balance and the beginning balance, correct?
Correct.
So what would you say the ending balance was then in the month of February?
Well, that's the ending balance for the
month of January.
January, yes.
Okay.
47.72.
So is that the money that's in the account at the end of the month of January?
Correct.
She has $47.72.
Yes.
And back to the same page which talks about overdraft. What is our overdraft in the month? So this is the month ending January. What will our overdraft be?
She had $25.
I'm going to show you part of that exhibit that's been admitted as 204B for the month of March, which means the month ending February, correct?
Correct.
And what is the ending balance?
106.18.
And when we go back to the overdraft fees, now we have an amount of,
The total is 50. She had another overdraft of $25 for that month.
we go to the month of April, which means the month ending March. We have the same, again, ending balance of $388.80.
Yes.
And back to the overdraft fee, what do we have now?
For that month, it was 225, and then the total is 275.
So they've been a lot of, fair to say there was more overdraft fees in that month.
Yes.
I'm going to show you under the same exhibit 204B, the statement ending May 9th of 2021. What is the ending balance on that statement?
$14.62.
And again, when we go to the overdraft fees for that month, fair enough to say there was none at that time?
Right. There was none.
So you have the same 275.
Yep.
what about the month of June, the year 2021? What do we have in regards to ending balance on that month?
Negative 297.73 cents.
So that month of June, now it's a negative of $297 and change. And what do we have for overdraft fees in that month ending, that month that we're talking
And
about?
overdraft fees was 200.
Which brings the total overdraft between January and the month of ending May going to June to 475, is that correct?
Correct.
You talked of a separate account that the defendant had at your bank. Showing you now, or I'm publishing now, what's been admitted as State Exhibit 309. Can you see that from where you are?
Yes.
The document we are seeing in 309 is different from the other document. Can you describe what we are seeing here?
It's just it's Karina's personal checking account. It was labeled as CSB free, which you had to go online and get your statements. This is one that the bank doesn't mail out. So it was a free account. There's no service charge for it.
Okay. It doesn't have as many features in terms of Chelsea Bank is not listed on top, or the other things that we saw in the previous document. And I'm going to show you the previous document, which will be what had been we've discussed as 204B, correct?
Yes.
When we look at this, when we look at the month of, at top it says January 7th, 2021. Can you just orient the jury to what they're saying? Just give a brief explanation.
It's the same as the last account. It starts 12/8 and it ends January 7th. So she had a beginning balance of negative 163.07 or 06, and then the ending balance on January 7th was $35.87.
So the negative sign is on the other side of the numbers. But that's a negative that we are seeing when we see the 163 and 6 cents, correct?
Correct.
And again, does this track the overdraft? And can you tell us what the overdraft fees that are on this document?
Yeah, for that month, it was $120, and year to date was $540.
Show you still part of that document that's been admitted as State Exhibit 309. We are seeing a different date. What's the date that we see on top of that document?
The top of this one was February 7th. That's the statement date.
Okay. And what's the beginning balance?
The beginning balance on January 8th was $35.87.
What is the ending balance?
The ending balance is $219.87 negative.
So negative 219.87 cents.
Yes.
Do we have an overdraft line item in this
Yes.
month?
Yes.
What do we have?
240 for that month.
I'm going to show you parts of this Exhibit 309. What date do we have now on this that I'm publishing for the jury?
This is for February. Statement date is March 7th.
And what is the beginning balance?
Beginning balance is $219.87 negative.
And ending balance?
The ending balance is $271 $2,210.66.
On the overdraft line item, what do we have?
She had $90 in fees for that month, and then $330 was the total year to date so far.
What do we see in this document that I'm now publishing that has a different date? What date do we have?
This one's April 7th is the ending statement date. This will be for March.
Okay, and that's April 7th of 2021.
Yes,
Okay, and what is the beginning balance?
$271.66,
And what is the ending balance?
83 cents.
Comes to the overdraft, do we have some items on the overdraft line?
Yes, there was one for $30, and year to date is $360.
Going to show you, again, part of State Exhibit 9. Now we're looking at a different month. What month are we in?
This will be for April.
And what is, so that's April, so April, but what's the month?
This is statement date for May 9th,
What is the beginning balance?
83 cents.
And what do we end up as the ending balance for this month?
Ending balance is $69.58 negative.
And that's May 9th of the year 2021.
Yeah.
Do we have overdraft fees for this period?
Yes,
What do we have?
$210.
Do we have a total overdraft fees at this time?
Yes, $570.
Same document, State Exhibit 309. We've switched to a different date on the top. Can you tell the jury what they're seeing?
June 7th, 2021.
Okay. And what do we have as the beginning balance?
Negative $69.58.
And what's the ending balance for this month?
Negative $109.79.
Again, reflecting on the overdraft fees, what do we have reflected in your document?
$300 for this month.
Giving us a total this time?
The total is $870.
So and that's $870 in just overdraft fees on this account for that period of time.
Yep, year to date for that year.
You same document that's been admitted as State Exhibit 309. What do we see on this portion that I'm publishing for you?
Just used her, it was a Target debit card, or
Okay, but
Oh.
this is, what's the date that
Yep.
we have? Yeah.
Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021.
Okay.
And
And
that's-
do we have a balance reflected here?
yes, 186.09.
So as of June 23rd, this account only had 186.09 cents. Correct?
Correct.
Judge, we can take that down.
And if we're going to be done with that, I think now's a good time to take, we've been going an hour and a half, so we'll take our mid-afternoon break now, ladies and gentlemen. So I've got roughly 2:45, so 15-minute break, and we'll resume. And again, I would just remind you of the admonition that I've given you previously.